Welcome back to another episode of Product Like It's Friday, where on Fridays we try and build product, whether it's design, discussion, or code. And today we're going to continue with coding project we're calling Cocoon, which was sort of Mary's brainchild about a suite of mental health tools. We're starting with a mood recording tool, mood slash feelings is recording tool, and we're going to continue with coding it. We've made some progress, and we're going to try and just kind of push through. Before I guess I begin and start sharing my coding screen, anything to add, Mary?
I will preface because the thing is, if I don't preface, it's so weird too.
Yeah.
So I will preface by saying that I got braces this week, so I sound like an idiot sometimes.
Are you telling me? Hold on, wait a minute. Are you telling me that when I got braces, I sounded like an idiot too?
Honestly, I didn't. I mean, maybe we didn't talk when that happened, but if we did, I did not know this.
We talked. I did. I've been doing P-lips. I coded honeypot with braces. All right. Yeah. No, I'm glad that we got that out of the way early. I'll just ask you one question. How does it feel to get braces in your 50s?
Great.
All right. For me, it was very I don't know, unnerving, to be honest. But here we are, dealing with our conditions in our old age. No comments. Fantastic. I'll share my screen and we'll continue. So just a little briefing about where we had left off. So really just working through here on the How Are You screen. And all we had done was build out some of these interactions. Wow, I spent a lot of time working on this, I remember. Okay, that's coming back to me now. It's weird for me right now, Mary, which is it feels like the week passed by really quick for me. And I don't I don't know if you have the same feelings, but that's what I felt like. It was super quick, but it was.
You know what
it
they
feel,
say when you're having fun.
Is that true? Time flies. Okay, got it. But I also want to do more research on how to slow time down. Not like from a physics perspective, but from a feelings perspective, which is, when you're children, it sounds like it, like time seems longer, and as you grow older, it seems shorter. And I want to see what behaviors, if that's been, I think that has been studied. There's studies out there, I believe, but I don't remember.
I don't want to talk a lot right now because of my.
That's why, and you don't have to. You can just nod. I feel like you should just nod and let me ramble.
Well, I actually have thought about this a lot. It makes sense that like when you get older, time feels faster because proportionally, 1 year out of 20 years is significant. That's what is 20%? No, I can't math.
The reverse. So 1 year out of 2 is versus 1 year out of 20 when you're older, or 1 year out of 50. Oh my god.
Yeah, so of course it feels faster, but I feel like if you, I don't know, change it up more, it slows down somehow.
Yeah, it's a thought that has been kind of bubbling in my head as I age now, is how do I make time feel slower so that I can feel more of the life I'm living. Having that said, this slider made me feel great. It made me feel amazing. Not yet, but I'm hoping. I'm hoping it adds up over time. So now when I set this and I let go, it's set here accordingly. And I don't know if I worked on the back button. I did. Great. And now if I bring this closer to thumbs down, it's closer to the thumbs down here. Although, of course, the range is different. And things to consider is that it'll be more like this on the mobile side. And we might have to reconfigure how we want it to display on the web. But we'll continue for now. And then now my job today is to try and build out as much as I can, starting with this screen, but feelings and getting everything lined up and functional.
Could you remind me how many mood levels there are in the code?
Yes. We won't
Because
just.
I'm doing the like last time I remember like
Oh yeah, we
having
had
you
some
run through
confusion
the
around.
requirements.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's the rest? Where are the rest of these requirements?" And you're kind of like, "Hey, I just took the first step." Sorry. Right. So there's
Okay, so it's
greater than
zero
so 5 to 4 is amazing. And we can modify this, right? There's some nuances where it's like, should it be 4.01 to 5 or 4 to 5? And right now it's 4, greater than 4. So 4 to 5 is amazing. 3 to 3.99, 999999999 is great. 2 to 2.99 is okay. 1 to 1.99 is mediocre, and anything below 1 is shitty.
Okay.
So 0 to 1. 0 to 0.99 for accuracy. Okay. And I think you did have homework then, which was to try and connect the number scale to your valence
Yeah.
and intensity scale.
Yeah. Basically like if I'm feeling shitty, what are the feelings that should be shown?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Did you complete the homework?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna do as
I'll
you
do
try
it
and
right now.
avoid, yeah, as you try and avoid talking, you're going to be doing it in the background. Fantastic. Okay. All right. So for me here, just trying to get acclimated again with my surroundings. Okay, so I need to bring this up. I'm feeling ... So I have all the elements. I need to align them and then now work on this button functionality for selection purposes. Otherwise, I'm feeling pretty okay. Apart from now, I notice like I'm kind of scanning here. This arrow on the continue button is on this side, where here it's on the other side. So just things like that. I'm going to try and catch as many things as I can, but we're obviously going to do multiple passes, so this won't be the only one. This is our kind of first functionality pass for the feeling screen. So let's go. So this is my how are you screen. I just want to see if there's any diagnostics on this page. Does not seem like it. And then just to start, I'm going to split my screen, load up the feelings page, and take it from here because mood label is not used anywhere on this page, and I'm now comfortable removing that. And mood level isn't either. That doesn't sound right. Oh, value. What? On the feelings page. Then what's driving this? Now I haven't visited this code in a while, so let me go take a look, which is what's driving the slider. The slider is driven by the value directly, and now we're recalculating the value through that multiply by 10 business. I mean, maybe later on there's some. I'm gonna keep. Actually, I'm gonna keep these. I'm gonna keep these just yet, and I'll kind of configure these later. Right. The reason I'm keeping them is I don't know why. I don't know why, just yet. I'll come back to that. Okay, but having that said, I do want the sliders to be looked at similarly. And let me do that now. And so I just want to make sure W full is fine. Yeah, okay. So this, the height was coming from there, and the width here was deciding the width here. Not here, but here, that width there. And I want to match that width here, but I'm not sure whether it's the same thing anymore. But we're going to try it anyway by doing this. Height 2 this time, and it is the height now. In this vertical thing, it's the width, and in the normal horizontal one, it's the height. So now that looks more like its previous version. Let's see what else. I mean, there are some things that I want to do, like, for example, I think it should be W full in normal mode to take up all this space. That seems correct. But when it's like this, that fullness seems a little weird. So what I want to try and do is, I have a few thoughts here. One of them is perhaps to, let me see. This seems like a lot. And then it'll also be a lot when we're on like larger monitor screens even. I mean, not that it matters that much, but I do want to address my own feelings on this feelings page. So I want to do something like, anything larger than MD. I want to say max with 3XL seems weird, but let's see. 3XL seems... Oh, that's just the whole thing. So I don't want the whole... Wait you just a minute. So I'm just going through a bunch of thoughts because, I've been coming from a place where, like, I've been going back and forth like this, but I just realized that if I just fix the width on every page, then I don't have to switch back and forth. And that just occurred to me now because I selected the incorrect width here on the incorrect thing. I think what I had wanted was to place this somewhere else ultimately. I wanted the internals to be kind of limited, and I thought, so I'll just demo what I had wanted. I think what I think I had wanted was something like this. And maybe let me just actually say 3 here. I thought I was going to do something like this so that this range didn't feel too wide. But then what I ended up doing was doing it to this div, which was like, what if I just did that for all the pages while developing so that it just feels like I'm developing for mostly the mobile view. And I might just do that.
That looks good too, though.
This over here, you mean, for a full screen? Yeah. And then on mobile, it just goes full width. But then on larger screens, it's like this. Yeah, okay. So, based on Mary's kind of chiming in here, I guess I will keep it full. And because then at least then we have like an okay feel in full. We can also, Mary, just limit this as well. If, but it might feel weird. Like that. On a full screen. I don't know how does this make you feel a bit weird?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, it does. Also feeling weird. Okay, so we'll just leave it as was and kind of go with this kind of with at least.
Which part did you apply it to?
So I had applied it to the entire sort of like above even this. So this whole thing is the panel.
Yeah.
and I had applied it to the div above the panel even, which makes the panel restricted since the panel is like technically width full by default, I believe.
Like if you did it to like just the content, it would be fine.
It is on, well, the content is this.
Oh, it's just that?
Yeah, I mean, did you want to center this as well in here, you mean? Like,
oh no, I mean like the I'm feeling ... and the tags down there. Is that not part of the content?
It is. It's all of this is.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of this is kind of centered with this max width on larger screens. So okay, we'll live with that, and then I'll go ahead and do. I'll try and go ahead and do the rest of this. So what's happening here? Okay. So maybe I should need to do items start. I always forget what the right thing to do here is, but obviously it's not item start, is justify. Is there a justify start? Yeah, there is. Okay. So it's justify. No, what is it then? What am I looking for? Let's just turn that off. Let's bring this up, and let's now see what the division of these things are. So this, because I don't have an understanding of how much space. So this, oh, of course. Okay, but the slider itself. This is H full. This is H full. This should not be H full. That's the problem. Well, that's one problem. So now everything is now pushed up as it should be with this justify start. But let me see what happens if I take this justify start away. It's the same. So I'm going to leave the justify start out, and I'll just start spacing some of these things here. So let me add some margin. Maybe 8 is fine here to begin. I would have expected some spacing out here as well, but that's fine. And then let me actually just begin to see what it looks like here. So there isn't like a, that's fine. I think I can. 35 divided by 8, 4, 8.75. So I wasn't very close actually with this 8 here, which I'll kind of go with for now. Actually, it is almost 8 because it's 8-ish here, and then this distance to this, it's close enough. And then I think I'm going 8 on the bottom here, and this I'm feeling should also need its own space. So I'm going to also say my8 for now to see what that feels like. Now, that distance is starting to look like this. That's okay. That's okay. It feels odd to me. Actually, it's okay because this distance here feels like greater than this distance here, and the visually just looks interesting. But it's actually fine. I don't think it's a big deal. And then we have our buttons here, which might just be it for the visual feel. Let me just take a look here, whether this screen now starts taking shape. Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty close here. And obviously, based on the values in the buttons and what have you, we'll see a different distribution here, which I think is what we're expecting. Okay. The other thing is that this is still modifiable. And the goal would be that once you let go of this, maybe there's some spinner that loads up different values here, which we might get back to later once sort of Mary's done her mappings from the scales. So that's, yeah, we'll come back to that later because because if I'm going to work on it, I might as well work on it with the full data at this point. But we can move forward with this, making these buttons work. Before I get there, I want to do this continue thing is bothering me now. So we'll come out of this space. So we're going template icon. I believe the last time I checked, because I did the whole thing last time with like, the icons in PrimeVue and what have you. which is for how complete a library PrimeVue is. I feel like a button on this side, not having a button on the other side, seem like, or the sorry, an icon on the other side seems like a super weird. No, they do have it here. So what am I? Oh my. So yeah, you can only have one icon at a time. Got it. So this should fix it. Yeah, I think last time I was like, why can't I have icons on both sides? But now, now I was like, now this should be on the right. Did I continue? Icon position right. Top, bottom, right. Default is left. What have I done incorrectly here? Did I save? Am I on the feelings page? I'm on the feelings page. Let me just make sure I'm on the right button. I am on the right button. What? Icon position, right? Am I just, is this a reading comprehension issue? Doesn't seem like. Look, I noticed it. I applied it. Icon POS, icon. Well, let's try the other ones. Just eliminate other. And look, I'm, in case it was like, these are equivalents. So even when I save this, it'll automatically convert. Those are equivalents. So that's not it. So top worked. Left does this. Bottom does that. And then right. Will it work now? Well, that's fine. Look, you can't have everything. That feels like a bug to me. So we verified that it is working. I'm getting a phone call, Mary, which I feel like I want to take at the moment. I know that you're not in a talking mode, but maybe you can gesture your way through. But I'll be back.
All right, I can share the table that I was struggling to convey last time. So I will share my screen in a bit. It's not too much. And again, I am speaking with a lisp because I got my braces yesterday. So let me share my screen here. So this is all I have. I got like a table for categorizing the feelings. So this is really just me thinking through what types of, I guess if you think about like columns, what are the column headers and what are the expected input, I guess, or like whatever the format each field will take on. So the feeling would be something like, I don't know, anxious or whatever. And that would be a text input of some kind. Oh, I do have a description here. And then each feeling should have what's called a valence. And that is a fancy way of saying, is it a pleasant or unpleasant feeling? Is it a good or bad feeling? So any feeling would have some sort of category of that kind, and you might be like, what about neutral? I think a lot of neutral feelings are inherently pleasant or unpleasant, just at a lower intensity, which is the next field. And that would be an integer between 1 to 3. So a neutral feeling like, I don't know, calm would be a low intensity, so like a intensity of 1, and a pleasant valence kind of feeling. Where I was getting stuck, I guess, last time was outlining the specific feelings to be recommended or like to show up on the screen, depending on what, I guess, what mood level the user is at. And this is where I landed. It's really just, I think the 1 to 4, and then above 4 is amazing, and below 1 is shitty, and in the middle it's kind of like if there is like 2.5 to 3 essentially is low intensity pleasant, and vice versa. That's all I got for now, so I hope. Okay, you're back. Oh yeah, I can't hear you.
I can hear me.
Good
and
for you.
that's and, that, and that's what really matters. Okay. No, I'd muted myself twice just in case. I muted myself by pushing the button on my mic and here, and then I forgot to turn it on here. Yeah, just in time, I suppose. Perfect. Yeah, go ahead. And
Any thoughts on this
that's
slide?
great. Yeah, I think like it hadn't occurred to me just because I hadn't considered it, but the 4.9, the 2.49, the split on the okays is interesting, right? Like you could be on either side of okay, but it really is okay still, and that number value is really doing the heavy lifting there in terms of the pleasant unpleasant, even though the intensity is the same. That's pretty interesting. And yeah, I think there's enough here now. Then once I am done with the buttons here, maybe I can start pulling in the information from the tables and pulling those in right after the buttons are done. And that way the slider can now be directly tied to the feelings that are displayed. And even as you change the buttons, or even as you change the slider, the buttons should change. Even as disappointed I am in this like icon position right not working. And this is why people quit programming. It's actually true. You go, it doesn't work. So I'm going to get rid of that for now. And what I'll do is, I know in one of these other pages I had done this. And so I'm just going to fall back to this. So on the themes page, let's get to the buttons. And here I'd done this, right? So I put icons on either side, and that's what we'll do here is the span will become this. We'll get rid of the label here so that this is being used. And then we'll start by just getting rid of this and see what the spacing looks like now here. And I think the spacing actually looks fine right off the bat. And that's how we're going to get around that issue. Like ideally, the component itself would have handled this for us in the way that it's documented. But, there's more than one way to feed a cat. Ethically, all ethical. Okay. Now you click here, and I think that's the other part of the functionality is, Okay, let's take a look at the data, because I haven't taken a look at this data in a while, which is saying we have categories. Maybe I can now, Mary, if you don't mind, maybe sending me a link directly to the Notion page that you were on, and that'll help me get to it quicker. Oh no, and I know I should have done. Sorry. My intention there was not to kind of fumble around on Notion, but I could have actually just done it off. Like my intention was not to fumble around Notion on screen, but I realized now I could have done it off screen and dragged it in. But thank you. Okay. So maybe I will take a look at this before I get into bundle functionality because it is ready, and I might decide to change the data structure here based on reality of these. So we have this, and then we have, I want to load this as well. And this has all the data. Are there any other? Okay, fine. Okay, just looking here.
So
Okay.
the
Yeah.
variance is like a bit of a, I guess, outlier on, I think, how it's currently structured. Like,
Yeah.
my intention originally with variance is to be able to like relate feelings to each other, if that makes sense.
Right, but in this case, I was just scanning to see if liberated. It's like lib. I was scanning to see whether liberated was kind of in the list itself on its own, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Do you feel like these would be surfaced anywhere initially? Like, I'm going to store them together right now because there might be a case where we might need them, and that's fine either way. It's not a big deal. Yeah, do you feel like that might emerge anywhere?
I don't think immediately.
Okay. And then we have, as expected, kind of this intensity levels, and a certain feeling can have multiple intensity levels because there's a range of intensity as it may be. For I guess my question as it relates to the designs, I think here we had done if neutral use yellow, negative perhaps more colors, but it seems like perhaps more colors is true, given that we're looking at this here, and there's a few different colors emerging. Like it's the basic emotion color, green, blue, gray, red, and then these. Is that like what's the color you feel like you want here on a feeling?
I would say ignore basic emotion for now.
Okay.
Just because I think it's not really being used. Like, it can live in the database, but we're not really using it for anything.
We could use it for color of the
Okay,
feeling
I see.
because that's the only one that has unique color grouping. Other than like otherwise they'd all be just pleasant, unpleasant. There's no neutral here, right?
True. Yeah, maybe we could
So
use it for color.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. We could use it for color because there's a very distinct grouping of colors here that that isn't doubled or what have you. Okay, so basic emotion can become the color indicator, and we'll use the same colors that we see here. And then valence and intensity are kind of the filtering values. And yeah, okay, cool. So let me see what I can't do here. Sort. I want new. I guess what I'm looking for is there a way for me
to export it?
Yeah, to get like a CSV.
I think if you click on the 3 dots on the top right.
All the way here?
Yeah.
Merge.
Export.
Export. There we go. Markdown and CSV? I wonder what it shows. Let's see. Include everything. No files or images is good. Okay. Okay, so it's given me something. I'm going to quickly see whether I can find it off screen first and then bring it on screen. If you'll allow me a moment, please.
are you feeling today?
My feelings? I feel I feel I feel who who wants to know? I'm just kidding. No, I feel I feel very my body itself is sort of tense. Like I feel like I'm not stretching well, which is not an emotional feeling, but the body feels tense. You know what I mean? Like there's tightness in the body, but it's not impacting my emotional well-being. It turns out, like I said, I think I am dreading the passage of time continually since I turned 40. So that's 2.5 years now. And there's on like Blue Sky or Twitter, there's this like passage of time tracker where it'll be like, hey, 50% of the year has passed. I'm like, 50%? I just blinked. I woke up 3 times and now it's half the year is gone. And I think that's sort of the sense I have. And I always feel like
Okay, so when you said the weeks have been going by too fast, it's a bad thing.
yeah, it's not like I said, that's why I want the slowness. I mean, is it a bad thing per se? It's I want to experience slower patches of time. That's what I want. I don't know if it's good or bad. I just know what my desires are. And so yeah, I'm hoping for slower passage of time. I have 2 files here, which I'm kind of going back and forth. It gave me 2 files, but they're exactly the same file. So that's fine. I'll come back here and in a new window, I'm going to open up this file and see what I can do in order to process it. Yep. Okay, yeah, let's see if I can't. I think I had somewhere here. Just to remind myself what this tasks thing of a try task. So I can just say parse CSV, and I'll say file name string. And for testing purposes, we'll just do this. We won't actually pass it. We'll just make sure that we can run it. And I want to see if I can do pnpm task source tasks. What am I doing? /source. No, it doesn't want to autocomplete. /source. Of course, pnpm task server. So there's no source, it's server, of course. Tasks try, and then I can say parse CSV, and this should run and give me that. And now what I can try and do is pass in the file name here, and that's being picked up. And then let's see if I can't do this. Read file contents. I'm waiting for AI to do something, There we go. And then we'll add. How are you feeling, Mary?
Fine.
That's great. Moving on. Thank you for sharing your day. Okay. I think I'm going to need a CSV parser. I know I've been using Papa Parse, which is a weird name, one must admit, for a CSV parsing library. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's weird. Weird is not equal bad. Everybody's weird in one way or another. But yeah, I think I can. I think this will do. Do they have like an install thing? How do I install docs? I'm on the docs. Demo, download, documentation, GitHub. Might have a better indication. I think I just, pop a parse. Is this type scripted? It doesn't seem to me. But I think there might be a type scripting thing for it. Let's see, pm add, not that. So pm add pop parse. Is that right? Yeah. Yep. We do that, and then -d at types papa parse, hoping that there's a typed thing for it, and there is. Fantastic. And then we'll go ahead and let's see again. Okay, yeah, let's see. Oh, this is exactly what I want. Papa.parse. Fantastic. Okay. Header true. That's correct. Skip empty lines. That sounds good to me. And then let's actually take a look to see how we can mess with the results. I have used this library in the past, but again, I don't tend to keep libraries in memory. So like in my memory. And so I don't, is it like a .rows? Like how am I results? Data, array of parsed data. So .data presumably is the way. So let's console.log result, and then maybe result.data as well. And just to confirm, yeah, it's typed, it's ready to go. So let's do that. And now I have this, and it's looking pretty good, actually. And so the only fields that have multiple values in them are intensity and variance. So I will want to process that. And then this becomes my data structure. And then I think I want to just right now, I don't think we need any particular database at the moment. I think that I just want to commit this in a JSON file straight up. So we're going to clean it up. And I guess the thing that I'll do, even here as a beginning thing, is I'm going to go ahead and change basic emotion to just emotion. Just so all of these are single, just so all of these are single worded and kind of easier to deal with here. So now I like this clarity. And then the other thing I want to do is turn the multi-word fields, which is intensity and variance. And we can verify that here by, those are the only ones that are also like this, but we can also visually verify that here is these two columns have single values and intensity and variance have multiple values. I want these to be arrays in the data structure. So I'll want to loop through each one of these data sets and modify variance and intensity. So let's do that now. I can do a const feelings. Yeah, I'll just call them feelings, and we'll just map through. This is not what I want. What I want is for us to take intensity. So const intensity. No, it's not this. I don't know why I accept AI's thing and then. So what I want is to row dot intensity dot split.
Question on the intensity front. I had thought about it in terms of like low, medium, high, but it could also be a range of numbers.
They're equivalent though, right? If the number maps exactly to the value, then it's all, yeah. I think I saw, right. That's right. You had here a kind of an integer, but I mean, right now it's actually less work for me to not map it because it's already that way in the table, right? And I'm just parsing it in, so they'll come in and I'll do the work of just like remapping here. So these now become that, and it's actually more consistent because they're all text based. So yeah. And so intensity and variance, I want the same thing. I'm not 100% sure this will do what I want. But let's see. And then wise row is of type unknown. Well, now you're of type any. Get out of here. Yeah. And then we want to return ... row, and then we're going to remap intensity here and variance here. And now coming out of there, we're just going to console.log the feelings straight up. And ideally, these will be arrays if this code works out of the gate. Otherwise, we'll debug. It seems like it has worked out of the gate. And now we have these arrays. And that'll help us. I mean, we won't use variance just yet, but the intensity, emotion, and valence will help us as our filters and color bases. So now I want to write feelings to file. Yeah, that looks good to me. And well, I actually don't know where it's going to land, but let's see. Yep, we have a feelings file here. Interesting. Okay, so I don't like what's happened here, which is it's in one line. So let's go fix that. And the way we want to fix that is by telling JavaScript to write it differently, or stringify it differently. And now when I go into the feelings file, it should be human readable. Before it had just put everything into one line. And this looks good to me. And that will become our feelings database. To begin, I just am thinking where it ought to go. And I think server is where it should go. It could go into DB, but I'll just do a make dir files and move feelings into the files folder. And that's where we'll deal with it. And server, yeah. I'm trying to think whether that should be on the server side at all, because that could actually just be, that could just actually be in our app. Let's see. Let's feel it out. Okay, so that is just parsing the file into the data structure that we want it to be in. Let's go back into the feelings file. And here, I'm going to try and just import feelings from //server/file/feelings.json. And let's see if this just works out of the gate. If I just console.log and I get my feelings, I get Mary's feelings into the browser, and that way we know that it's coming into the browser. It doesn't really need, like, there's no reason why. Oh yeah, the server's not running. Helps if you start the server. There's no reason theoretically why we can't have everything in the browser. For now, there's only 36 of them. Okay, I'm happy with that. Even though it's in the server thing, Nux doesn't care. It should be pulling that in just fine. Okay. So now I want to have what I think I want is maybe not to pull the feelings directly in here. So we'll move them out of there in a second. What I feel like I want is in utils here. Oh, I do have a feelings.ts. Okay. I was going to create a feelings.ts. So get severity from feelings. And then we're passing it in a feeling. And that's how I think these colors were working. Fantastic. Actually, that's fantastic. So we want to continue with that. We want to modify the typing of this. So let's open up our feelings.json file and modify it. You know, I could have restructured it one way or the other, but that's fine. Not a big deal. Feeling string, valence, it's picking it up. Let's see if it picks emotion up. It did. Intensity, string array, variant string array, and category, which happens just to be empty. We'll fix this in a second, but what I want first is to feed it a mood level and get the feelings for the mood level. So we'll do mood level, not integer, number, and get feelings from mood level. I guess I'm being super descriptive in my function names. And we'll want to convert mood level to valence and intensity. And we'll use this here. Okay. Yeah, oh, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I think I'm going to try and leverage AI to do it. So if I copy this. Oh, wow. Okay, look at these. These numbers have changed into words magically in the background through the magic of AI. Through the magic of Mary. Okay, why is that happening? I'm going to do that just to see if it understands. And what I want first is valence and intensity. Van intensity. So I'm going to do function get van intensity from mood level. Right. And then we're going to say if mood level is greater than 4. Oh, so this is already wrong, even though it has the answers. So we actually want to return something like this with valence and intensity. I'm going to accept this, and this. And let's see where we net out here. So if greater than equals 4, that feels correct. And now we else if. And let's see if it picks up. It has. Did it pick up the whole thing? Let's see. And revise if necessary. So I'm going to split my screen into 2 here so I have both these things in view. We're going to get the van intensity from mood level. Is it pleasant and high? Correct. For greater than 4, then greater than 3, it's medium, pleasant, and medium, correct? Greater than 2.5, perfect. It's pleasant and low, yep. For mood level greater than 2, it is unpleasant and low, correct? Mood level 1, unpleasant and medium, and then unpleasant and high. Fantastic. Get rid of that. And get rid of that. And now I can say const van intensity from mood level. And now I want to get feelings from mood level based on these values from van intensity, which is filtering this. So now here I can actually go up here and go import feelings from and server files feelings. Perfect. And come down here and see if it knows to filter. Yep, that looks good to me. And now we'll need to do color as well. So get severity from feeling will now be based on emotion instead. And let's just take a look. And we're going to have to map it 2 ways. So here's our sort of range of colors. And we don't have to use these colors, May, of course, if these colors are too kind of harsh for the feelings display. Because if, like, when I look at this green, it feels very bright. When I look at this green, it feels very pastel. If you have a specific like hex code color preference for the colors, we can spring them in. I'll just see if I can quickly map. Like, we don't have a purple, for example. Oh no, we do have a purple, which is what? Help? I guess I'll map it to this first, just to move forward. And then if you have very particular colors that you'd like to use, then we can try those as well. But yeah, I'll just use these since we actually do have nearly all the colors. Worn is more of an orange than a yellow, but I think that's fine for now. Okay. So now it's based on feelings, emotion. And if the emotion is happiness, we're doing success. Happiness, yep. And then if it's sadness, we're doing blue. And the blue equivalent is info. So sadness is info. What else? Sadness, fear is, I guess, secondary. Secondary. And then we got anger. Anger is red, which is danger. Anger, danger. Yep, anger. You know what to do. Great. Anger is danger. And then we have surprise, which is info, I believe, or help. Surprise is help. And disgust is warn. Surprise, does it know help? No, it thinks surprise is warning. It's help. And then the last case is disgust. It's using dark here, but we want warn. And we've said the default is warn. I don't, there isn't a default. Really? I wonder. It's just a contrast for default. It should never land here, really. And honestly, we might have a check for that here and fail if ever that's the case. But for now, not a big deal. So we're going to go with this. Now we have get feelings from mood level, and let's test by using it in our actual code to see if it works. I guess as a starting point, I will have to get rid of that. So mood level, my instinct not to remove mood level was correct, right? Even though mood label can actually go, mood level remains. And then this feelings list will change. I'm okay calling it filtered list. Feelings list. It's going to be computed. It's a computed value now. So we're going to get rid of all of this and even this, and it's going to be computed. And let me just load up the other file just so I have the reference to the names of the functions. And based on the mood level, I want, so really, I think it's just return get feelings from mood level and then mood level dot value. Okay, so that, and then I don't think we have a way of displaying feelings. So it's feeling dot feeling for now. I guess that's fine, not a big deal. And then get severity. I mean, we changed a lot of code without like taking a look here. I don't know if these are correct. Oh, they change automatically. There's a lot here in this shitty range. Now we're in.
This is so cool.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know if it's correct though, because okay only has 3 feelings. So I wanna I'm kind of like, hey, is it, So let's take a look at bad. Okay, so mediocre is this. Okay, so now this is mediocre. I like this. I thought there would be like a spinner would load the feelings, but I think I like the instant because it allows you to discover very quickly the range. I kind of want to also on this screen now want to see the label as well, even though I got rid of it. But I don't know if you think the label is necessary here. I just want it for testing purposes, to be honest.
What do you mean label?
Like the shitty and the mediocre. I just want it for testing purposes, but I don't know if it's useful from a user point of view. So there's this. And then this is what I get for positive okay. This is what I get for on the other side of okay. This is mediocre. And I want to confirm. So let's just actually let me well, let me just go through the whole thing. So this is above okay, which is great. So it seems like your feelings is mostly based on let's be real here. We can all see what's happening. You don't have a lot of feelings, my friend, on the plus 2.5 scale. Is this what you had intended?
So that's low intensity. No, that's medium intensity pleasant, right?
So anything like this, these all have lots of feelings associated with them. These have very few feelings. So there's only a limited way to feel good and pleasant. And it's a very
okay.
Explain yourself.
Makes me sound so pathetic.
No.
But if you actually Google like the feelings wheel or the emotion wheel or whatever, they actually skew towards this distribution. There's more description words for like the negative feelings because I think that's when we struggle, right? Like to find words.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just I just find it hilarious, and I love how apparent it becomes in this format.
Yeah, I didn't
because here it's so hard to tell. You're like, hey, okay, fine, cool. I mean, though technically it's there. I didn't, like, because it's some pleasance down here. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe it's mixed, maybe it's not. Although now rescanning this, obviously there's more unpleasant than pleasant.
Yeah.
But I mean, for our kind of progression purposes, this is great because it's not like we need to do anything particular. Like if ever we feel the need to change it, we modify the database, and then we're good to go. So
I
it's not
feel like
a.
if we added the variants, it would have been fine.
Oh, but then, oh, I see. I see. I see. Let's take a quick look here. No, it would not have been because there's two variants to each one. You still have that imbalance.
No, but okay, there would be an imbalance, but I think if we're like only show up to, I don't know, 2 lines or 3 lines or whatever, then
I
it
see.
wouldn't be
So we
as
limit
bad.
it. We're like,
Yeah.
this is max range of
There,
sadness you can
yeah,
have.
there are hidden negative feelings.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I think for now we don't really have to worry about it. I think that's something that could come up in usage and actual kind of like interaction. Because I think the truth matters more than the distribution, which is or usefulness / truth matters, which is if this is useful, then we go with it. Okay, so now we have that. I'm just going to do a quick time check. We're about an hour in. Okay, that's cool. Um, um, and now we're going to click and select. And that selection ought to give us this view. So the sort of the inverted view of the button. Okay, the inverted view of the button. I don't know why I got booted from. I don't know why I got moved to delivery. Okay, so let's do that where you can select them and then they need to be stored somewhere. And that will still be kind of in this ephemeral memory that we had built, ephemeral storage that we had built the last time, which is the current mood snapshot, because we're not storing it anywhere just yet. But the idea would be that anytime this changes, it gets stored in your browser. But not going to worry about that just now. Either way, we can test an end-to-end flow without storing anything just yet. Okay, so click, clickety click. All right, so here, let's take a look. This is my button, and I don't have any click action on it. And my click action should, it's really a toggle action, and the toggle action should add, remove this to my selected feelings, right? So now in my store.ts, here I have this, and I should have selected feelings. What? Is that somewhere already in the code? Wow. Okay. Like I thought I was coming up with the variable name selected feelings like right off the cuff or whatever, but I literally came up with it the last time. Okay. So selected feelings are stored here, and they're not strings. We're going to store the full feeling straight up because it's all storable, which means that we'll need to export this type. So that it's importable here. Yeah, that's fine. And let's see. This should just be an empty array down here to begin. So I'm just thinking, because technically this pattern, even though we're using buttons, which is fine, this pattern itself is a checkbox pattern, which makes me want to just quickly take a look at what checkboxes look like, because the selection process is precisely checkboxy. And so I'm just trying to look to see if there's any visualization of this like checked nature that's separate. And that doesn't seem to be the case. So that's fine. I'm okay to just do it. It feels quite unnatural to do it here. So let's just go at click equals select feeling. And then let's see what our friend gives us for function select feeling. Yeah, if feelings list values includes it, then okay, yeah, I think this is an okay way of doing it. Not the greatest. But additionally, I feel like we can do it. Okay, let's bring that back actually. Let's. Oh yeah, now it's doing the right thing. Before it was doing the wrong thing. Current mood shop dot feelings. So there's no feelings. It's selected feelings, and let's go ahead and replace that. Let's go ahead and replace that, and that, and then let's just figure out what's happening here. That's f dot feeling, and this includes selected feelings includes feelings, but we can't do that. So that doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is the problem with. I think this is the essence, of course, of what we want. Let me just think. The problem is I've kind of labeled things feeling, feelings, and it's all the same. So instead, I'm going to call this name here, just so we're not using. And then I'm going to say const feeling equals feelings list find. What happens if interactively I check rejected, and then I go here and I check abandoned? Have I selected both abandoned and rejected, or am I now just abandoned in visual? So something for you to think about. Oh, you have a thought?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point, because like when I was designing it, I was assuming that the user would not be switching between the scale too much, but I could see how that's actually a pretty good use case, I think.
So you want both of those feelings? It's kind of complicated, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to have an answer now.
As
yeah.
designed right now, I would expect only what I'm seeing to get registered.
Yeah, that's what I would think too, because and you would find out very quickly in the next screen as well. So let's take that path, and then I think in usage we can revisit always. But that's just occurred to me just now. So because we're doing that here, and then I'm trying to think. Of how I want to do this, because okay, I think I know. Selected feeling names is equal to, so this will just be a ref of a string array, okay? And here we'll first just do selected feeling names just to simplify. And so if selected feeling dot values includes name, we want to remove it, which is what these lines are doing. So that's fine. And then else this, which is they're going to push it. And so what I'll quickly do for my own purposes here is we'll just Yeah, selected feeling names. Whoops. We'll get selected feeling names in there as an array. And as I click, well, that seems wrong. What I should be doing here is actually sending in the feeling here. Feeling dot feeling. Okay, refresh, accepted, peaceful. I'll get this checked in a second. That looks fine, although this will break now. So when we go here and we click here, now we have everything. And so, yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm just thinking what a smooth way of doing that is. Before I do that, so I'll get to that in a second of the storage and the representation. I'm just happy this much is happening. Let me see if I can't do the check, the checked view. So variant is outlined. So now variant will depend on whether the feeling is selected or not. So we'll just do something like a function called is feeling selected, and we'll use the name of the feeling, and we'll return whether it's in this list. And we'll use that to do this and this. So iconify, we're going to go to icons, Lucid, and then we're going to look for the square with a check in it. I think this is probably the one that we want. What is it called? Square check. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna, we'll just paste that there for now. This is not, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah, I'll do a VF. Is feeling selected? Feeling, and then we'll just do a V else here. And yes, I know that I need to get square check out here. So let's just test this one change. Okay, accepted, peaceful, cool. So that check is out there. And now we want to do something similar with this variant here. So here, though, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this a variable. I'm going to say is feeling selected, filled versus outlined. I think those are the right terms. Let's find out. Yes, perfect. Obviously, this will move down as we select, but that click now looks like a legit, like I clicked it. Obviously, you might want to, like, some people will click here, some people will tap, whatever. So that's functioning. And it, like when I go away and when I come back, those are still selected. But I think, whew, yeah, okay. I'm going to do a few things. One, I'm going to move this down just because I don't like the shifting, and I want it to feel good. And so right now that's like that. And so it's not shifting as I click, so that just as I click, I get that experience of what it actually feels like. Okay, that is the inverted or filled. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do in order to accommodate the change will, for now, is when you change it, it will lose. Oh, cool. Yeah, because when you come up here, lonely and disapproval are part of this and this both. Cool. Oh. Okay, yeah, let's see what happens. Sorry, I'm just like, I'm processing like the code in my head, and that'll be interesting. So what I'm going to do is when these change, when these change, I'll always filter these feelings again, so they're always part of this. I think that's the play here. So I'm going to say, it's a little dirty, but that's fine. I'm going to say, I'm going to have a watch over, let's watch over, mood level dot value. And as it changes, what I want is, well, actually, I do want to do this as it changes. We do want to store the mood level broadly, and I don't think we were doing that. Were we? No, we weren't. Okay, so that's correct. I do want to store the mood level for starters. And the second thing I want to do is I want to filter selected feelings. Or I want to repopulate. I want to make sure selected, I want to filter selected feelings are in the feelings list. So ensure selected feeling names are in feelings list. Now, I don't know how accurate this will be. So let's actually do it and find out. I'm not sure if this will work. I'll just accept this code and we'll test it to see if it's correct. So if I click accepted now, if I move off here, that list is gone. And now that's what we're expecting is it clears itself out the moment I move away. So it does work that way. Now let's double test it with this range here where we have kind of lonely here and we have lonely here. So if I'm here and I go here, oddly enough, that should still be selected. Yeah. And when I go here, then lonely goes away. So now we're clearing it out, which feels very destructive as I use it. It doesn't feel good. I'll say that. But it might be the right thing. Okay. So I think I said this last time, Mary, that I would get this into your hands, but now this is like very, that becomes more important. So I might work on that soon after. Okay, so yeah. All right, what do we got? So these are being selected. And as these are being selected, they're being updated. So they're not being updated. So I want to ensure now. I guess I'm going to do another watch. These can be tricky, but that's fine. Yeah, I think it's almost this, but not quite, because I need what I want is feelings dot value. Sorry, just trying to feelings list, not selected feelings. Okay, so now we have this, and what I want to additionally do here is current mood snapshot, but I just want the entire snapshot. So here's the entire snapshot. It shouldn't say how are you, so let me refresh. It really shouldn't say how are you. That's fine, not thrilled about that. But it does record a mood level changing, and it is not getting our selected feelings, right? I expected to see these feelings in here. So selected feelings name dot value. Do I need to do a deep true in order to make that work? Let's see. Come out here, change, confused, disapproval, that works. And now let's change this. So this changes and this should change as well. And that's working. Fantastic. I wonder whether selected feelings should just be the feeling name, or whether this should be the whole thing. I won't worry about that too much right now. I'll go with the whole thing. And if that becomes a nuisance, then, because it's actually simpler. The code is simpler when you just these match, but not a huge deal. And now that it's already done, I don't want to change it necessarily unless there's some extra complexity that requires it. So, okay, so we have this, and now once I click continue, I should go to the other page and what should I see? Oh, wow. Yeah. So I should go to the other page and I should see the feelings just to begin. So let's connect that continue. There's nothing submitting here, so I feel like I can transition straight up to this page. Right. I was like so upset. I was saying, "How are you?" It's because I coded it that way. Let me see if I can't, pre this and go current mood snapshot. For some reason, my text editor is having issues. So now it does say feelings because it's just, I had, I copy pasted and I coded it incorrectly, and then I didn't realize that I hadn't changed the code. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, it should move me to the journal page. Yeah, it knows what to do here. It needs to just navigate me to the Mood journal page. For my purposes, so now we'll begin to have some testing issues, which means that maybe I want so let me hook this back button up for beginners. Let's see. And is this back button hooked up? Yeah. Okay. So we'll go to journal and first hook up that back button to not to how are you, but to feelings as a starting point. So now I can kind of go back and forth and see these values change. Okay. And I want these tags. So now these selected feelings don't need to come from here at all. These can be current mood snapshot directly from the shared data. This becomes feeling. Although I feel like this column should change to name. But for now, whatevs. And let's see if I'm here. I refresh. I'm here. I'm lonely. Threatened and confused. And then I go continue. I'm lonely, threatened, and confused. Cool. And now in my current mood snapshot, I do want to store these thoughts as well. How much time do we have? About 1.5 hours in. Yeah, let's see. feel like this will take time. So I'm not sure if I want to start on something right now that will suck us in. But for now, I think what we can do is maybe even this we can leave to the end, oddly enough. I don't know that we need to necessarily do this now. We can just start typing things. And all I want to do right now is ensure that this is stored. So I can close this for now. And one of the things is like now when I refresh the page, these disappear. So as I'm testing, that becomes kind of frustrating. So perhaps I'm going to do what I said I was going to do closer to the end, because I feel like even before this or any of that, I think I want to store, kind of these values in the browser right away. Yeah. Okay. So to begin, I want to store them in. I want to store them in local storage, right? And maybe later, the whole kind of group can later go into IndexedDB, which I'll need to read up on once we get there. But for now, local storage seems like a fine place to do that. And I remember seeing Vue have some local storage things. Use local storage. Fantastic. Let's see if this coincides with what we need. Docs. Refer to use storage. No problem. Is that what it said here? Yeah. Oh, cool. So some examples. Create a reactive ref that can be used to access and modify local storage or system storage. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Because I have in my storage here, what's going on? Store, not storage. I need to fix this. This should not be showing. I'm going to do this. It should not be showing all these node modules. That's a bug in my editor setup. So I have current mood snapshot, which is this reactive fella here. I could have a watch over it, and anytime it changes, I can kind of update the storage. And then additionally, when we load the application, I can always ensure that it's populated from the storage to begin. And that way our feelings are stored. But let's see how this works here. So it does this. See, the thing is, this is returning a ref and not a reactive value. And that gets in the way of how I've used our reactive value everywhere else. So I don't think I need to necessarily do use storage. Yeah, I think that's okay. I guess my concern there is how I get these values in. So let me just take a look quickly here. Okay. Because, well, I guess I'll just have to test it because I don't know. I don't know if it'll work. So to begin, let me add a watch here. And let's see if it knows what I want. It does not know. what I want. That's fine. Let's do this. And now it knows what I want. Okay. We'll do this to begin. And then we'll also kind of unload Yeah, so this is kind of doing it. This is what I was wondering. Like, can I just do current mood snapshot equals? And it didn't feel to me like I could. But just because AI did it doesn't mean it's the right way to do it. But I think this will probably work right off the bat. So let's test that out. So let's say I'm here, I'm lonely, confused, and disappointed. Classic. Now when I refresh, it should be there. Cool. Apart from that flash that happens. Cool.
The colors are different.
Are they?
Like
let's go back and
see
see if this is the truth. Oh, I should do something here. There's a bug here where these are not selected. The ones that should be selected are not selected. But we can quickly at least see. Continue. Disappointed is this orangish color. That's correct. Confused is green. That's incorrect. And then lonely is blue. That is correct. So confused is the confused color, it seems. So let's see what is happening. Good catch.
Speaking of colors, I did make up a color palette if you want to.
Yeah, that might be relevant here, especially because I'm using tags, I believe. What am I using? Journal, tag. I'm using tag. And let us see. Yeah, I guess this doesn't have the purple, like the help for whatever reason.
Oh, so you can't have tags with custom colors?
No, you can. I think we should be able to. I'm just saying that the severe, like I mapped our things to severity, and this one doesn't have help, which is purple, which is why I think it's kind of going to a different one. But the other ones do map. But yeah, I think just to maintain the consistency, let me take a look to see. There might be some issues with the color, actually, because the severity kind of decides a number of things. It decides the text color, it decides the background color, like it decides all those things. So we will need to see. I think all we need to change is the text color and the background color, right? So that should be fine. Okay, let's do that. And same thing with the button. We're going to have to change the text color and the background color. And that should be it. What you got, Mary?
If you open Figma.
Oh, I got to go Figma, yes.
And click on my little person.
Ooh, okay, fantastic. So we have our range. So we have this group, sadness here. We have fear, anger, surprise in this. Okay. So I will just need to learn.
I can send you the hex code.
That's fine. I'm a man, so I don't know why I felt like saying that. That's weird. That's a weird thing to say. It's here, is what I meant. It's right over here. No worries. is what I meant to say. I don't know why I said that other thing. Yeah, we got it. Cool. So let me see. I'm just going to have to learn a little bit here about. So instead of using severity, or in addition to using severity, let's see. Because we haven't customized the colors of anything just yet. And in this case, we're not necessarily customizing the button colors for the app. We just want it customized for this specific usage of tag, not broadly across the app. So it's not like I can go back and configure this in like some base configuration file. So how would it be done? Let us see. First thing first, I'll do the buttons first. And we'll take a look here. I'll increase these in size. And let's see how this confused button is being represented. Yeah, I wonder. Okay, well, maybe that's not helpful to me. Maybe this is helpful. Maybe that's also not helpful. So maybe the only thing that's relevant actually is the styles. So, like these. So P button outlined says border color is this and color is this. So those are the values that we'll have to kind of pull out, which is fine. So I think we can override all of them for our case and just simplify our life. Yeah, we'll override them and we'll simplify our lives. So I just want to see where those colors live and if there's anything else. Like, are these separately colored? No, they're not. They're getting all the colors from the button. That's helpful. Okay, let's go ahead and just hack away at it then. Okay, so there's a few values I'll need to extract here. And I'll need to see here. So I guess what's missing here. Oh no, so it's there. No, is it? Is it? It is there. But it says 50%. So in this case, it's 50% when it's a variant. Okay, so there's selected and unselected. And then there is, and then is there a border color here? No. So it's just that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And then that's fine. And then that's fine. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I'm just trying to process in my head how I want this. So export function get color classes from feeling. Very descriptive function again.
Is that your preference?
Descriptive functions? No, not really. It turns out but I guess I'm just feeling like it right now. So in this case, I'm actually very curious. Like, I would just kind of want to fill this out and just give what AI. Yeah. So it is something like this. I just need to fill out these things here. Though there is a difference if it's selected or not selected. So get unselected color from feelings, because I'm like, I don't do I and get selected, like we'll just do it. We'll just separate these and just keep it straightforward like this. And then here for happiness, oh, happiness is orange just okay. I mean, look, cool. We're gonna take this and I'm gonna do this BG this we're just going to hard code those colors into Tailwind. I know not a lot of people like that, but I don't care. So we're going to do text white, and I think I want to do that. And then I think I can, and let's do happiness the other way. So let's just do one case of this, and then I can begin to okay. It seems to think that selected and unselected should be the same. I made a mistake. Should get rid of that. And then get rid of that. Yeah, it seems to think to want. Yeah, that's what I want. So the text should be that, but the background now should actually be white. And then our border color should be this. But I think I'm able to do something like this, /50, right? So let's see if that works. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe something like this ought to work. And I think we can just test this out by going to feelings. And then here, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I'm okay with whatever this is. So I'll just hold on to this. And then I think here I want to say class equals. I want to say class equals is feeling selected. And then here, let me go back to here, and then I'll do get selected or unselected. I mean, theoretically, I could pass it in. It's just, it doesn't matter. Get selected color class from feelings. And then let's complete that, get unselected as well. Let's see what this does and if it works for happiness. That doesn't feel correct. Something, I mean, I don't know what's happening anymore. So these are happy. Is this correct? Is this right? This is happy? Oh, because they're reversed, it seems. Let me just double check they're reversed from the other one. So selected is like this and unselected like this, and I just mixed them up. That's what happened. Okay, so let me fix that. Unselected, I did this. And then now those are, and now it's unselected and I select, and that seems correct. Okay, and let's do the other colors. There's a bit of green here. Hold on. The selected one has green because it has a border. Because it needs a border anyway. I thought maybe it doesn't need a border, but it does need a border, and I think it's just the full border here. And now, oh no, this is still green, isn't it? Why? That is green. I don't know why I'm like looking closer when I can just like inspect it here. So The border in this one confirmed green because why? Even though this says important. Does it not? It says important. I mean, so what can I do? What can I do? It says important.
So is it displaying both?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not displaying both. It's just this the styles of this are overriding this. Maybe the ordering here matters. I don't think it ought to, because these are not important, and my important class ought to be overriding it, but it is not, and that's fine. I'll just quickly think of a different way of doing it.
Does it need the success, I guess, properties?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But then I wonder if some other properties will overtake it. So, but worth testing. This is what I was kind of processing, is like, there's a few ways to do it. So we'll begin by testing out what you suggested, which is, what if, like, it doesn't need anything at all. So if because it'll have some default, right? So if I get rid of severity from here, does that then just work? It doesn't. So it does seem to go to some default, right? So, and the default might actually be, what is the default? Nobody knows, but certainly there's a green color present still, even without any severity definition. And yeah, we don't need a severity definition there. And again, I can just also get rid of the variant as well, and it still kind of has its own thing. So I'm actually okay to keep that. And then let's see. Yep. So instead of classes, I'm going to return styles, and then just apply the style. And I believe style should outweigh everything else. So get selected color classes, color styles from feeling, and then classes styles from feelings. And then here instead we'll return, let's see if we can fill it out. White, yes. I don't think that's how that works, but okay, let's see. Get rid of that. And then let me actually go to Figma to see if that is in fact how that works, because I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can actually just copy this straight up. And this kind of gives us some level of certainty. And then we'll do the same here. And hopefully it picks up the details, which it seems to be doing.
It's weird Figma gave you the RGBA rather than the hex code.
Because it's a 50% thing, so it will get into RGB because of that 50%. Okay, now all the other buttons will break, but where's that sound coming from? What do I have open? I got a sound like a ting sound, like a, I don't know where that's.
It wasn't me.
Is it coming from my phone? Are things happening on my phone? Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, so let's go back to feelings. And then here, instead of doing this business, we'll do style equals. And then we'll say We'll do that and then get rid of this. Now, the thing about it is this might be like a colossal mess up here. I mean, it doesn't seem like a colossal mess. It just seems like a regular mess. That border, I think I just need to border dash color, border dash color, border color. So let's only do border color, because I want to retain the sense of everything else here. And then that'll give us this. And that is correct. So that is what we need to do for the rest. And I guess this doesn't break it because it just goes to the default. And so let's fix all of these. And then now we can transfer the colors one by one, and it should just work. Trademark. So that's happiness. Let's do sadness. I'm okay. Yeah, I guess I'm okay just to do that.
Do you associate emotions with colors at all?
Not apart from like the generic kind of red is angry kind of thing, but not so much. Do you, in your sort of feelings associations?
Not overly. I feel like what this palette is very cliched. Like, for example, I actually quite like the color that I used for disgust. But that's yeah.
And then the border color, I wonder if it's just half of this. Let's see if that is true.
It is.
Yeah, so I can just do that as we go. Oh, wait, sorry, not here. I'd have to do that up there. So in this case, it is correct. It's both these. And then up here is where that will take effect. And our friend AI knows that. And it's pulled in the correct things. I think I might just do that here as well. Just eyeballing that to see if it's correct, and it is. And then we'll autocomplete this as well. And then let's fill in the rest. Fear is this. Okay, so that's fear. And then this side of fear. No, I did it wrong. I mean, it's not that big a deal. Let's just I had to spend 15 seconds correcting it. Oh no. Okay, so that's selected fear. And now this is unselected fear. Oh, it knows already. It knows. Just to verify, yeah, it is correct. And then let's do unselected anger to begin, because I'm here just verifying where I am. Okay, I can't see. Great. And then anger on this side of things should be the same. And then let's do selected surprise first. I mean, it's all the same now.
It's so cool that the color gets reflected in the text editor.
In the text, yeah, that's a plugin on here. But yeah, it's kind of default behavior that you'd get in like VS Code or what have you. And it's, oh, I don't know. I'm actually not sure if it's default behavior in VS Code, but certainly it's more likely, but Vim, yeah, you get a plugin and it does that. I sometimes find it disorienting, to be honest, like, because there's like a lot more feedback coming into my eyes.
Yeah, when you did the first one, I was like, oh, is that just like a highlight color that shows colors? And then I'm like, oh, it's all the colors.
Yeah. Okay, and now let's do unselected. Unselected discussed. And let's do selected discussed. Yep. And then just in case, let's just go ahead and do a default. And it wants sphere to be the default here. I wonder if you have a default color preference, Mary?
Maybe just like the default color for other buttons. Like this, for example.
Sorry, I don't know where you are.
Just like
this.
Other
okay,
buttons.
For this. So that just seems like a black background with a white thing. So that's I guess I was expecting
What is this color?
Something. Is this the color? I guess. Let me try it out. I mean, we might never even just see this color at all, so that's fine.
Yeah, you can even just put black.
Yeah. Let's fill this out and okay. And now let's go back to see what our colors are looking like. And here I am.
Nice.
Okay. And let's now get disapproval, despair, and distant. Let's pick a few colors here that we'll need to transfer here now. So with the tags, now we're in the journal space with our tag. And I can probably get rid of severity here and just do style. Is feeling selected. Now, is feeling selected is not in this thing, so it seems like is feeling selected should be a function that is shared. So I'm going to take this out of here. Oh no, it actually has to be here. I'll copy paste it for now, and then we'll come and refactor this later. Because here it's actually going to be coming from the snapshot instead, because things aren't changing in this space. So it ends up looking like this, Mary. I'm not sure if that's what. I guess I don't.
What's up with the insecure one?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Insecure. It's, you know what's up. It's insecure. So despair, distant, disapproval. Insecure is fear. It might just be the case. Yeah, I think I just know. I messed up. They're all selected. And that's not what I would have thought would have happened. Here, insecure is fear. Oh, there's a bug here. Yeah, it's just a bug. what happens when you forget to double check just the one AI color. And now insecure is, and yeah, these, like, there's no selected, unselected business here. They're all just selected. So I actually did not need whatever I did, all that kind of rejigging was not needed. Okay, so we're here. We got our colors. We're feeling good. I think maybe looking at the time, the only other thing I want to do for now, which is not a lot, but the only thing I want to do for now is just when I type in something here and I refresh, I want it to be persisted. And then I think that's what we'll wrap up for today. So I have my text area and feelings text is changing. And so I could probably just have a watch on feelings text and we'll change that. So here in my store, I will actually need to, so I'm going to call this journal text here, I guess, or just journal entry. Journal entry seems good. String.
Journal entry.
Journal entry. In your mood snapshot, right? So journal entry. And now I do need to add this line here. Const parsed. And then we'll do that. We'll do this. We'll do this. And then we'll do this. And now all I need to do here is another watch over kind of the feelings text changing. And I want to my journal entry, I want to assign that value. And now what ought to happen, and it's kind of like excess, I guess, but not a big deal. Hello there. Sometimes I have a feeling, just one, like 1 unit of joy. And now if I refresh this, oi, what a disaster. Hello there. Refresh it. Oh man, this is the worst day of my life. Now what's happening here? This deep watch here should be storing it. This ought to be happening, but maybe this doesn't quite work as I would have imagined. So let's see if that is the case. So let's go console.log here and let's log from watch. And let's see if this doesn't come through. I went quickly from joy to it being the worst day of my life. I just want to say.
Just 1 unit, though.
1 unit of joy, yeah. Yeah, but at least, HELLO. So that is happening. And then I think maybe snapshot. I will need to figure out what these hydration errors are. I'm not sure exactly whether that's, yeah, I mean.
Good reminder.
Yeah, thank you, browser console, view warning. So it does seem like from snapshot is being stored here, but then this is not happening. Oh no, I'm such a fool. I'm such a fool. I'm such a fool. There's a few things we can do here.
Why are you such a fool?
Because I don't know. I was just thinking around. I was just making things super complex. So what we can do, not complex, it just didn't, it's because it didn't occur to me immediately, is I can just actually say current mood snapshot dot journal entry right here, and it ought to work now. No, I guess not. I guess I'm still a fool. Hello there. Oh, I thought this would have worked right away. That's what I was laughing. I was like, oh, everything's just going to work. And it doesn't work. Why do you not work? Let's see here. Console.log. Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, it does. Actually, I can double check this by going to application, local storage, and taking a look here. And it's hello. Will it change? There are my feelings. Hello. Where are my feelings? That sounds better. So now it is being stored here, but when I refresh, it is not. I thought if I just reference the single variable that they would be populated, and it is my expectation that they would be. The moment this happens, this is reactive, and therefore it should emerge here as well, which is why I was laughing, which was like, oh, it's just this simple. And it really should be this simple, unless for whatever, so we know the storage is working as expected. Let's see if the retrieval is working as expected. It might be the case that it is not. Okay, so now when I come here and I refresh, and it might be all these errors that are happening here are kind of, no, so journal entry is stored. Hello, where are my feelings?
Is it just not being displayed?
Yeah. Do I need somehow to populate it initially like this? No. Because either way, it's an on refresh issue. Let's say go back and let's say continue. That worked, but then why did it not work on here? What's the series of events? Okay. So I think what I want to do is export. It's kind of maybe weird, but let's say snapshot loaded equals ref false. And once this runs either way, so let's see. So this code will run, this code will run. It's all fine here. And then I want this to be snapshot loaded value equals true. After this runs one way or another, like it's loaded, or even if it's not loaded per se, the loading of it has been done. And then what if so I want to get rid of this. I don't think we'll bring it back if that's the case. And then what if I said something like v-if, like don't show any of this until snapshot loaded. I don't love this, but That's weird. This my browser should correct this, or my text editor should correct this. It should move this over here. But we'll look at that in a second. Now when I refresh, no, so that theory is incorrect. My mental model there was, what if there's some loading issue? Oh no, I think I do need to take, because it says hydration attribute mismatch on text area. So something weird is happening. If I refresh here, value equals this, and value expected on client is that. And so it is, this hydration issue is a problem. I think there's a simpler way of addressing that. Because it's not really relevant for us at this stage, and not necessarily kind of like a big part of the app. There might be some better ways to deal with it, but I don't think it's a problem I want to think about at this stage. So number, object undefined. Oh yeah, what am I doing? So dumb. Okay, or so silly. Okay, so let's make sure that our server is restarted properly. And let's come back here and let's skip hydration altogether, like I do every day. And now it works. So it was a hydration issue because a lot of this was being rendered server side. And let's see, just for learning purposes, if I can get it working entirely. But that's what this should have done, right? If type of window, but then I guess the take is that if type of window is not undefined, and I wonder then if there's a way to say next if client only, client fallback, client. I'm just looking for code that I can scan here. Middleware pages, plugins can be rendered on the server or client both. Components can be forced to run on the client only. Client-side rendering. I guess in my mind, I'm looking for some patch of code. But I'm not finding it. I think that's, I mean, it's somewhere here. There's some sense that I can probably dig in further, but now I feel like I've come to the edge of the time that I want to spend on this. If the answer kind of revealed it, oh, I did open another browser window. I mean, let's see. Would something like this address it? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it would, but if it does, then we've learned something. What if now I wrap this? Okay, I'm just going to quit my text editor because I feel like it's giving me issues. There we go. What if we wrap this with this? I haven't used this tag before. So let's see now. If it doesn't work, then we'll just go back. It does work. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But it is working now. Obviously, I don't want this jumping business to happen. Now I have hydration issues on some other tags, like this, some span, whatever I think. But probably okay. So I'm happy with this knowledge for when it's more relevant and absolutely needs to be done this way. But I don't think I need to get fixated on it. We've learned enough, and now we can
Doing
disable
more than
this.
you have already.
Yeah, because now I was like right on the edge of obtaining some knowledge, and now I have, right, with the client only tab, and yeah, this is it, because now I could go even further, right? Like I could have fixed those other errors, and I'm like, what for?
What
For
are hydration errors?
Yeah, so good question. So we're using a JavaScript kind of front end framework called Vue.js, and it helps with the reactivity. Like especially something like this on the feelings page, it helps simplify this kind of thing where if this changes, then this is kind of the reactive range. You've heard of React. It's doing something similar. So, and these frameworks initially only used to work on the back end. But as people started kind of, as the JavaScript community expanded, they were like, oh, we want these elements generated on the server side in HTML and sent to the browser. Because what was happening was that your HTML page would actually have no real HTML. It would all be injected by JavaScript later. And there's a number of reasons why you want your server returning the intended HTML. Is one of them used to be search engine optimization, although now Google and other engines pick up JavaScript generated HTML just pretty well. But other reasons are speed, like so that the user kind of sees elements quicker and faster. Like your first kind of load, especially if we run something like performance and we run one of those like performance things, it shows you how much time it takes for the first element to pop on screen, and you want that to happen faster. And so the JavaScript community kind of embedded server side, so SSR, server kind of, or SSG, and server side rendering. So now these components that would only in the past have been rendered in the front end are now being rendered on the server side and be returned HTML. But then the question is, all that reactiveness doesn't exist on the back end, right? It's dry on the back end and needs to be hydrated on the front end. And so now that's what hydration. I know you were like, where are we going with this? So hydration essentially is your dry HTML comes from the server and it's kind of being hydrated with reactivity on the front end afterwards. Okay. And there are some issues that happen as a result of it, like we just witnessed one of them. And because a number of different things were happening, I think because I took AI's suggestion of this is probably not the right way of doing it. There's probably some other check or function that I should be using that triggers Nuxt to do the right thing. So Nuxt is kind of is using, like, for React, you have Next.js, you have a bunch of others for React, but Nuxt is kind of the main one for Vue, and it does the server side and the front end and everything. So there's probably a proper way of doing this, but because I am not fully aware of it, and I just went with this, now it works. Only if it works, I guess, kind of. So there's just one problem, but I don't really have to figure it out entirely. Like, I feel like I know enough now, and then I don't want to spend any more time on it, because I don't entirely trust it will be useful. But now, how are my feelings is stored, and yeah, we did it first try, or we got this far at least. And now I think let's just quickly review what is remaining here. So remaining work here is obviously kind of the voice stuff, but maybe that can wait because we have enough here to go to the next page. And here maybe is we can use, maybe next time we use OpenAI, and prompt and like come up with a prompt. Maybe that's homework for you, maybe as well, Mary. Which is if we give it a prompt that generates
The themes.
the themes
Yeah.
from a journal entry, and once you have it kind of working on the front end, then we'll transfer it to this interface here, and then we're good to go. And then we'll kind of have we'll have this page, and I think we'll have finish, and then we'll learn about storing in the index DB. So we'll have to learn about that. And then honestly,
we don't even need the calendar. Like it can just be like a log.
Initially, yeah. So like exactly just this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then if you did want to play around with, again, prompts. Oh no, hold on. These are not prompts related. This is
like a summary.
A summary, but it can all, like, we have everything. It's not like an AI generated summary. It's just kind of a static data generated. Okay, so we have everything we need. I think the only thing that I think you should be satisfied with is, given a journal entry, it should return a set of themes that relate to it.
Don't tell me what I should be satisfied with.
No, I did. I actually did. I said you should be satisfied with, like, but you should be satified with something. No, or give me your lack of satisfaction. Sorry, please go ahead.
Well, I think the themes should be like a set, and it's more like we need to figure out how to derive which of the set are mentioned in the journal entry. Is that aligned with what you were expecting?
It actually doesn't matter to me, because ultimately all I care about is a set to display here, like not the full set necessarily, but the set we display here. And I think if you give it your full set in the prompt, give it the thing, it should, you could play around with it until it gives you the right ones. And then we could have a full set stored here that we use for the generated prompt. And then that'll work. But yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, what matters from a dev perspective here is some black box process which takes in these inputs and then gives us the list that we want here. Cool. How are you feeling after your first braced live stream?
I think I need to take another Tylenol.
Fair.
But okay. I think I'm really, really hoping that after the weekend I will be, I don't know, speaking more normally. But we'll see.
If you care to, I think if you go back in time to a stream where I didn't have braces, and then the next one where I did.
What?
Yeah, I got them while we were, so like I would have had a first stream where I had braces.
I had no idea. I don't know why I thought it was like a long time ago. Or at least before the stream started.
Maybe it was. Now you have me doubting, actually.
I will watch our first stream.
Yeah, I don't think I had braces in the first stream.
Okay.
Okay, some research that needs to be done. But folks, thank you for... Is this live? Oh my God. Ember Guru is here trying to convert us to Ember all the time. We know what he wants, and he's not going to get it. It is live, Mr. Guru, and you just caught us. I guess I don't know how long you've been here, but definitely it's the tail end as we're doing our outro. Thank you for joining us for this session of Product Like It's Friday, and we'll see you. I mean, we have been super consistent on Fridays, but we will still attempt.
No, actually, we're gonna try Thursday next week.
Okay, but then what if are we gonna do random? Like, are we gonna try for random? Because like so many days this week, honestly, every single time I've intended to do a random thing, but whatever either energy levels or whatever the case may be have been weird in the last little while, or focus, let's just say. But I guess we'll play it by ear, I guess.
Yeah.
So
We'll try.
we'll try. But our next scheduled one is going to be on Thursday. We will not be doing the Friday. And yes, we're leaving Ember Guru because you joined. Thanks for joining still. And we'll see you next Thursday, if not sooner. All right. Let's go home, everyone.